everybody. Welcome to Module 1 of Mindset Mastery. In this module, we're going to dig into the question, who are you? And it lays the foundation for all of the things that we do going forward. But it's amazing to me, including myself when I was in high school, how many people have no idea what they actually stand for, what they don't stand for. And so to be a leader, we have to know, in general, what am I after? And so with Mindset Mastery, one of the cool things of offering an online version is that we get to bring together thought leaders from across the country that are the best in their craft. One of those is Joshua Medcalf. Joshua is the founder of Train to Be Clutch. He is a best-selling author of the book Chop Wood, Carry Water. But it didn't all start out awesome for Joshua. In fact, he quit his law degree at Duke with only one thesis paper remaining because he felt like it just wasn't for him. So he moved across the country, lived in the closet of a gym, just serving people, providing volunteering for youth camps. Long story short, he continued to grow and build a business that now has turned into one of the #1 mental skills consulting businesses in the world. Joshua has trained performers from the NBA, the NFL, from Broadway to top business people in the world. And so we are incredibly fortunate that he's here today to share some of his wisdom that he has gained over the course of his career. And so please tune in to what he has to say about building your own house and solving for your ex.
Hi, my name is Joshua Medcalf, and I'm the founder of Train to Be Clutch. I'm so excited for you all to be going through this project and this program, and I just think it's an amazing opportunity for you to learn and grow that I would have given anything to have been a part of something like this whenever I was your age. So the first thing that I want to share with you, the first story, is about a guy by the name of John. You see, John built homes for a living, and he built homes for about 30 years. And then he got to that point in his life where he was like, man, I'm just tired of this. I'm ready to move on to the next phase of my life. And I don't know if you've ever been there, but I know that I've been at that phase many times where I'm just kind of over this and I want to get to that next thing. And so he goes into his boss's office one day and he says, thank you so much for the opportunity to work here, but it's time for me to move on. It's time for me to move into the next phase of my life. And so his boss says, John, we need you to build one more home. We got the most important client we've ever had, and we need you to build this house. We all voted. It's got to be you. And so John's like, what am I going to do? And he goes home. He talks it over with his wife, and his wife says, you know what, John, I think you should build this one last home. So John goes back to his boss, and he's like, all right, I'm going to build this one last house. But you see, the thing is, with this house, it was different than every other house John had built. He was now going through the motions. He was no longer showing up and giving his best effort. He was no longer the first one in and the last one out. He was no longer making sure that no stone went unturned. He was just going through the motions. And so, but you see, over that 30-year period, John had built up quite a large skill. He had a pretty good skill set by that time. He was really good at building homes, so he could go through the motions and get by with it. It still passed the test. It was still up to code, and so that's what happened at the end. It passed all the tests. But John knew deep down in his heart that it was far from his best work. He goes into his boss's office, and he's like, all right, I did it. I built the house that you asked me to build. And his boss says, yeah, thank you so much. Just one last thing. And John's like, what, man? I did what you asked me to do. His boss goes into his desk drawer. He pulls out the drawer and he pulls out a black felt little box, and he hands it over to John, and he says, we just wanted to give you this as a token of our appreciation for your 30 years here. John's like, what is it? And he opens up the little black box, and immediately his heart sinks because inside of that box is a shiny set of keys to that house that he had just built. And he was like, no, if I had only known I was building my house, if I had only known that my family was going to live in this house, I would have left no stone unturned. I would have put everything into it. But by that time, it was too late. And you see, I think that in every single decision, every single one of us are building our own house. We're not always aware of it. Sometimes we get caught up and we think that it's about a grade, or we think it's about a test, or we think it's about our team, or our sport, or our piano, or whatever it is that we do. But really, every single decision that we make is just another choice in the house that we are building for ourselves, that we're going to be the ones that are going to live in long after we're done playing our sport, going to school, and in every single area of our life. And so it's taken me a long time, if I can be really honest with you all, to realize this truth, that in everything that I do, no matter how small, every one of those choices is actually determining the house that I'm going to live in. And even though I share this story all over the world, no matter how small, every one of those choices is actually determining the house that I'm going to live in. And even though I share this story all over the world, sometimes I still forget in my day-to-day life that every choice that I'm making impacts me at the end of the day. It's not about the other people. It's about me. I'm the one that's going to live in that house. And so the one thing that I want for you all, especially going through this program, is to understand that A, you're building your own house, and then B, as you really go through this, I want you to understand this concept of solving for your ex. You see, what I'm doing right now with you all is solving for my ex. My ex is, what do I wish that I would have known whenever I was your age? What do I wish I would have had? What tools do I wish I would have had? What do I wish my teachers would have had? What do I wish my coaches would have had? And how can I build that, create it, share that with the next generation? And so I'm solving for my ex. I don't know what your ex is, but your ex is most likely something that bugs the heck out of you. I can give you an example of whenever I was a freshman in college, we didn't have a trash chute in our building, and that frustrated the heck out of me. I was so mad that we didn't have a trash chute, and we had to take our trash down the elevator and then walk a block with it to get rid of it. It was just completely unnecessary. And so it really frustrated me, and I went through a whole bunch of frustration and posted stuff, and people just didn't understand it, and then I just got more frustrated. But if I could go back into my life whenever I was that age, and I would say, young Joshua, start a trash collecting service. Charge $2 to $3 a week to pick up everybody in the building's trash. You can outsource the work and probably make 15 to 20% profit off of it. Come on, man, this is a massive opportunity in front of you. That's an example of solving for your ex. For different kids that I've had the opportunity of working with, it's, for one girl, it was, the fact that most clothes are not designed for Division I athlete female bodies. And so we talked about how that could be her ex, and she could solve for her ex and create clothes for herself that fit her, and then be able to expand that out and be able to share that and share that that those clothes that she made for herself, just get 10 or 20 more made in each different line and be able to share those with a community by building a tribe, because there's more than one person in the world that's going to be impacted by that thing that you're impacted by. And so that's basically all it is to solving for your ex. And don't get caught up in it needs to be really big. Like, there's a reason why I'm shooting this on my iPhone in my apartment on my couch. Like, I've got a really nice camera over there, but most people don't have really nice cameras. And the biggest thing that you guys need to understand is that you just need to start small. Just be really faithful with small stuff. You don't need big fancy equipment. You don't need anything like that. Just start small and solve for your ex, and then hit publish. Whatever that publish button is for you. That could be a form of media. That could be, a minimum viable product. But don't be afraid if it isn't the best version that it'll ever be. Just start small, be faithful with the small stuff, and remember, in everything that we're doing, we're always building our own house.
Thank you for checking out that short clip from Joshua. The questions being, How are you building your own house? Every choice, every day. And the second one being, what is your X? Now, before you do our next short reflection assignment, if you're wondering, I have no idea, that's okay. Just put down off the top of your mind, what is it that you're uniquely crafted for, that you want to go all into? Maybe you already are. But what I found is that it takes courage to even say that you might want to go all into something. And so take the time now to detail what is or what might be your X.